Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mecaniquesportive YouTube channel. I'm Nicola. Today we're in Portugal, enjoying a beautiful setting between rain showers, where I'll be able to introduce you to this new Renault Clio 6. Here it is. Let's try it. You'll see, it's nice. So, sorry, it's a little bit dirty, because we're really getting hit by storms here. It's been this way for days in Portugal, so it's a bit dirty. But I already presented it to you in the studio when it was new. It hadn't been revealed yet. And it was really spotless. I'll give you a quick tour of it again, a bit faster this time. There's a studio version where I test the technology and try out the Alpine Spirit version, where I show you all the characteristics. You have special videos of the artist, and we'll talk about demotorization, technical features, 2 models here, and so on. As usual, on all roads, Renault claims this new hybrid averages 3.9 liters of fuel consumption. We'll see how it performs. All right, let's start talking about the engine. 3 engines are available on this new Clio, and the most important one is the new E-Tech engine. We found this on the Dacia Bigster, now featuring a 1.8-liter engine. It's based on the old 1.6-liter 4-cylinder, but the displacement was increased to 1.8 liters. They've also added a larger 1.4 kilowatt-hour battery, up from the previous 1.2 kilowatt-hours still in the rear, letting you drive longer in electric mode. In electric mode and with a really good consumption, we were around 5 liters with a Dacia Bigster. And look, this is just a little Clio. I think it should be really interesting. I think you can get close to 3.9 liters on small country roads if it's fully charged. I'll have to try again, but this time we're going to do a bit of everything. There's highways, small winding roads, mountains, and so on. So we're definitely going to use a bit more fuel, even though we recover quite a bit during the descents. An Eco G version with a new engine will also be available, now offering 120 horsepower. Yeah, that's the one also shared with Dacia. Dacia, by the way, has a new engine I tested on the Bigster called Hybrid G. It's a hybrid liquefied petroleum gas, a 48-volt mild hybrid, but not exactly the same here. Then we'll have the turbo control efficiency, 115 horsepower, a 1.2-liter without any hybrid features. Just a basic start-stop system. It'll likely be the entry-level and most affordable version. To also improve efficiency and so on, there's a new battery cooling system that helps make sure it uses even less electricity, which normally increases the electric capabilities. So we still have the combustion engine, this time the 1.8-liter paired with an electric part. You can drive fully electric with 49 horsepower, or use the combustion engine for 110 horsepower, totaling 160 horsepower combined. We have a new smart mode that will help us adjust the engine mapping in real time. So we're going to test that, of course, and we'll mainly drive in this mode because you'll see that it's actually quite interesting. The Clio is 4.12 meters long, 1.77 meters wide, and 1.45 meters high. The wheelbase between the 2 wheels is 2.59 meters. We'll see how that affects the rear seats. We have new 18-inch rims, a front end that changes radically, a side that stays pretty much the same, and a rear end that also changes. All in all, that makes quite a difference. The Clio is celebrating its 35th anniversary and will soon turn 36. It came out in 1990, over 6 million sold. Not bad, huh? Here it is. Let me show it to you. In this new Absolute Red, there will also be the Absolute Green, which came out on the Twingo, which was shown on the concept car and is now actually available on this car. Jaime, Renault is doing cool things now. The red looks good. It's different from Flame Red, with a bit more cyan. I like it. It's different. Everything's changing. Come on, I'll show you a behind-the-scenes secret. Over there are some colleagues. Over there are some Caradisiac colleagues, and here we have the Auto Magazine. That's Nico from Mecaniquesportive. I'm counting on you for a like and all that. Anyway, the Clio 6. Here's what it looks like when we take another look around it. So the front, honestly, it's a really, really big change. For me, it doesn't look like a Clio at all anymore. I don't know if you agree with me. Sorry, it's slightly tilted. Don't move. Is there something I can do to change the angle? There we go. I put it in first-person view mode, so now I can turn. And for you, it's pretty much straight. It's better like this. Wow, you know, I'm doing it just like in the movie, where it was spinning like that. Inception. Anyway, so this Clio, look. So this way the front changes. So for me, really hide that from me. I can't say what it is, but there are diamonds on the side. By the way, since we're on an Esprit Alpine version, the diamonds are blue like this, blending into black. A front camera for a 360-degree camera pack. The logo has changed, so now it's a kind of shiny brushed black chrome. At the bottom are the sensors for the Level 2 driving assistance systems. We see this new front section with these kind of parentheses now, which serve as daytime running lights and turn signals. The lights. Now, look at this. Here, no, look here, especially from here, this looks super aggressive as a car. And when you look up, well, to me, at no point does this look like a Clio. What do you think about it? Honestly, in the studio, I was undecided. Now, seeing it on the road for real, and especially here with this scenery and everything, that really helps. And look at all this, the work on the lights, in every way, whether it's here on the side or on the top. I think it's very pretty. It almost looks like a red, kind of like Mazda. Look, I didn't see that in the studio, but this slightly bluish part here, that's really nice. I didn't see that at all in the studio. There are lots of little details like that, the painted wheel arches. We also have the Alpine Spirit referenced here and the new side mirrors right there. By the way, I'm going to surprise you in the test drive a little later on. I'll make a comparison with another car and you can tell me what you think. There, hop so on the side. Sorry about the little backlight like that. The rims. So, rims Esprit Alpine, 18 inches with a bit of blue tint as well. We have these little trims here. The tires, we have Continental. So, I don't know what it is, Eco Contact 7. We'll talk about these tires again during this test drive. You'll see. The side skirts, very, very well finished. Honestly, I really like this car. It's well finished. It's pretty. On the outside, it's really, really nice. We still have the handle for the rear doors. Right here. Look at this part here, also really nice. The surfer buddies there who want to come surf. Portugal, I never remember. By the way, if you know, the place with the huge waves, I can't remember the name at all. If you know the name, I've been trying to remember it for weeks and it just won't come back to me. The Clio marked here, so with this new way of doing things and especially tilted in the opposite direction, often it's tilted like this. So here you can see the difference. The taillights and the taillights, it's the same. You can see that when you're inside. I didn't know that, but I learned earlier while driving. On this side, there's a 50-liter liquefied petroleum gas tank and 50 liters of gasoline. They claim up to 1,000 kilometers of range for this car if you drive at 3.9 liters, which isn't bad. It has a nice little look there. I like it. I really like that part right there. There you go. It's a little bit higher. Not bad, huh? Not bad. It's clearer from this side. There we go. I can't wait to hear your opinion on this car. Really, really can't wait. But above all, let's not forget the trunk space, which is still pretty important for most people. The trunk is 391 liters for the standard versions, 309 liters for this E-Tech version today, so you lose about 80 or 90 liters, roughly. If you add a tow hitch, this car can tow up to 900 kilos. So here, for example, I have a coat here. I have my big hiking bag with the laptop and everything. I try to hide it over there. You see that it fits. It's dirty here. It still hurts. I don't want to hurt myself even more, so I'm going to do it like this today. There we go. It works. Nico comes in like usual, you know. There we go. Luckily, I'm not too big because otherwise I'd have to fit in a box or trunk, which would be a shame. The bench seat folds down in a 2/3, 1/3 split. Both rear seats have ISOFIX and top tether attachments. The loading sill here, compared to the old Twigo, has been lowered by 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters is about this much. It makes it easier to load things or heavy objects, which is pretty good. And while we're talking about technical data, ground clearance is 14.2 centimeters when the car is empty like this. It's 12 centimeters when loaded. Now let's move to the back. There should be more space since this Twingo, Clio, I'll get it right. It grows by 7 centimeters. The back seats, of course, as usual, are at the door level. Well, everything is made of plastic, so when you see the car, you wouldn't expect to see doors like this. They're still designed, but all plastic. Even here, it's plastic. The upholstery looks nicer and softer, making me want to act like a cat and touch it. I'm in a playful mood today. I feel like having a laugh. It looks pretty good. We have a kind of faux leather with blue stitching to remind you of the Alpine style, just like the seat belts with blue stripes on the sides. All right, I'm gonna sit here inside. There we go, Nico, 1 meter 80. So we remove the headrest directly, and so 1 meter 80. If I sit up really straight, I end up hitting the back there on the part that closes. I move forward a few centimeters here so I don't hit there. Then for my knees, I still have a lot of space. That's in front, with the seat scooped out, knowing that I'm the one driving in a pretty relaxed way. I have room for my feet under the seat. It looks like I have good support in the back on the sides of the seat. Even the seat base is nicely contoured. That's actually a good thing. We have the third seat belt directly on the bench. This part looks pretty nice. All right, let's step over here a bit. That's not bad here, huh? It's pretty soft. It feels like a motorcycle seat. Since it's raised up, it's nicely rounded. The backrest is super soft. Well, I have to admit, it's actually pretty good. It looks like a mattress you want to jump on. It's still an extra seat. We probably won't reach the 600 or 1,000 kilometers of claimed range at that location with this car, but yeah, it helps out a bit. As for the rails, you have to move the seats forward a bit so I can fit my feet, but they'll go on the rails. In the end, we have enough space and an International Standards Organization FIX top tether anchor in the front, allowing for 3 child seats. It looks like a master key. What else can I tell you? The lights are up there. And basically, it's simple in the back. No air vents, nothing at all. Just a cigarette lighter to charge your phone or something else, but at least there are 2 pockets. Overall, the Clio's quality is improving, but I still wish there was a rear air vent. Let's move on to the interior. I've already shown you around, so we won't do that again. All right, the interior, heck, what's different on this one is mainly this right here. A little animation with the dual screen. What I was saying is, what's different is mainly this, with the little Renault engraved here on the inside with a laser, plus these gradient parts that bring in some color and are honestly really nice. A little decorative stitching to make it look nice on the Esprit Alpine trim with Alcantara. That's great because it adds a more premium, upscale touch to the door panel, which is otherwise still all plastic. A pretty basic thing. And what's funny is this very rectangular part with much straighter lines. I might have liked the Renault logo in there to add a little reminder. So it's plastic, and then again here, faux leather with blue stitching, the window controls that you now find in all Renaults and almost the entire group. Mirror controls here, you can also fold them electrically, so you can put small bottles, but I don't think large bottles will fit here. We're looking at an Esprit Alpine trim, so we have Alpine door sills, Alpine floor mats, the Renault Sport pedals from back in the day, but now they're Alpine, and the large footrest here. As for the seats, you'll see that we have seats with a rather sporty design. The headrest, which we're very familiar with in the Renault group, is now different on the Twingo, which is a revolution. And these seats have the Alpine logo here, which is very well hidden. And then these parts here that change also with a diamond shape that you find here. So here it's well padded, it's nice and soft, it's comfortable. So we have fully manual seats and the Esprit Alpine seatbelt with the details on the sides. When I use it, there, I move back here as far as possible. Here's what it looks like. I love these little animations with the sound and everything. Hang on, don't move. I'll leave the key outside because every time with the keyless system, when I walked away, the car would lock itself. Look, also like with the new Twingo, they painted the key. Thank you, Renault, for making an effort. It's really cool. It feels good. I'm closing it again for the sound. So here's the interior. The interior is different compared to the previous Clio and all the older Clios. I start the car, there we go. And I still have quite a bit of battery left, so when the car is started, it will stay in electric mode, and you'll always start off in electric thanks to this engine. You know, it started because the steering has become really light. It's electric steering. We have the multi-sense here with a new mode, as I mentioned. So when I click, actually, I'm already in smart mode right now. The smart mode right now is in eco, but it can switch to comfort or sport automatically. So here, smart, comfort, eco, sport, and then back to smart. Smart will be a highly intelligent mode. We'll discuss it again during this test drive, and I'll try it out so you can see how good it is. On this side, you have the driving aids. Faster, slower. resume after, braking, the road sign recognition, and the modes here. So you can choose 3 modes with this trim, either off, assist drive, adaptive cruise control, just the limiter, or turn everything off. I leave the autonomous driving on. On this side, it's to change the menus. So what's behind the screen? You can see there are animations like this. It tells me to fasten the seatbelt or turn off the engine, so I'll buckle up to clear the warning. Ah yes, by the way, the seatbelt, we need to talk about it. Renault, this is not good at all. Here we have the buckle, and look where the thing is hidden. It's pushed in, and actually it's super tricky to put it in there because there's no space. The seat is huge, not practical at all. Renault, for the next Clio, let's make this much higher. Please. I know they'll listen and watch all the videos. I'm counting on you. So here, we change the menus. There we go. We change another menu, and we change yet another menu. We change again and go back to the global positioning system. The information on the right, I can change it. So here, for example, I'm in the middle of the test. I stopped right in the middle of the loop. We have all the info as usual, so we can delete. I left the global positioning system like this and have it here and here. So we have Google Automotive in the car now, which is really top-notch. It's one of the best infotainment systems. While we're around the steering wheel, we have the controls here for drive. I click like this. I switch to drive. You can see it there on the side over there. I click upwards. I switch to reverse, and this time we have new cameras. So thank you, Renault, for putting in much cooler cameras that look a bit more modern. So let's not kid ourselves. It's much better, but compared to what other brands are doing right now, it could be a little better. But it's great. We have real 360. We have a much better rear view camera. And compared to what there was before, it's much better. The parking button is right here. The control for the windshield washer and wipers is here. Automatic plus the rear. And then lower down, you still have this section for music, sources, modes, volume, and behind that, changing the radio. And then on the other side, the turn signal, high beam flash with automatic high beams. And the lights are also on auto when you set it like this. I showed you this already. A little detail is the Alcantara at the bottom of the steering wheel on this Esprit Alpine trim. Next, second screen. You go to the channel, type in Renault Multimedia System, and you'll find a video on my channel that details all the features of this screen. Look, we have some colleagues. Oh, Mr. Paradisiac. Alan, she looks beautiful when she's driving. There's a number. I take interior photos because it's more practical now. Sunlight adds nice contrast. The air vents here, always the physical climate controls like this. Thank you, Renault, for keeping them here. Honestly, it's great. Then we have Alcantara that starts here and goes all the way over there. Look, it gives a titanium effect. It's like it's been heated, but it's actually plastic. But it's still pretty nice. Also, I have to admit that if the car had a gray color, it would have been even nicer. With the red, it contrasts a bit. So the Alcantara continues here and then comes to this backlit part. Next is a compartment with a wireless charger and 2 USB-C ports for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which also work wirelessly if preferred. There's space to put your key here if you want, but to be honest, it was placed there earlier and it made a little bit of noise. So I moved it over there. Then we have this kind of like in the Jeep Avenger or like an iPad. There you go, just like that. So it's magnetic when I do this. You have to grab it here, but it's pretty good and lets you hide things easily. There you go. Lift it up, put it back down. There's a little trim on the side. Then here, it's all plastic. The parking brake is here. So the old handbrake, but now it's become the fingertip brake. The auto hold means you don't need to keep braking. For example, I'm in, switch to drive, move forward, and press the brake pedal. I release the brake pedal. It's as if, well, the brakes stay locked. As long as I don't have to accelerate again, that's pretty good. Because if I turn that off, so I move forward. I brake, I release the pedal, the car moves forward. So auto hold for me is really the thing. Also one of the greatest inventions of our century. It's a bit padded, it's long. We open it. There's a little bit of space here, don't move. You may know the standard for these bottles. It went far. We can fit small bottles about 50 centiliters. Small Vittel, crystalline, and similar ones will fit. Look at this little thing. I'm sure no one noticed. I don't think you'll find it in any other report. Put your shopping cart token here. There you go. I'm sure only Nico mentions this. Hey, did you see the second thing? Little card holder here, loyalty card. Look, right there. With the Mecanique Sportive, I'm sure nobody saw that. The seats, so as I was saying, I showed them to you like this. A little view of the sea. The ocean is always beautiful. The rear view mirror up top, which dims automatically. The little LEDs up there and the Save Our Souls button right here. And there's a mirror with LED lighting. And on the other side, do we have it as well? Very good, that's it. And so with these new mirrors, here you can see a camera that monitors you 24/7 to see if you're falling asleep or not. Otherwise, it will beep. But you can customize everything thanks to the little My Safety Personal here and the headlight height right there. Well, now that you know everything about the new Clio 6, you'll have to go try it out and see how it performs on the road because that's still the most important thing about this car. All right, friends, here we go with this new Clio. So let's start it up right here. So I just picked it up. You saw the presentation? That was after this moment. But now, I'm really going to try it out and take you for a ride. So, the air conditioning, there's the auto mode, but I don't like auto mode. I prefer to set the fan to at least level 2. 21 degrees. That'll be comfortable. So, this new infotainment system, drive, right here, the handbrake releases automatically, and there we go, we're off like that. So, a little tip. Normally, they've reset everything. I'm just checking to make sure the consumption levels are at 0. There, we're good. We've reset everything to 0. And that way, I'll give you the consumption data. Which way do we need to go out? Over there? All right, let's go. Yahoo! Look at all that. It's a whole group of journalist colleagues, so that's the entire French press. Ah, those crazy young people. There we go. Thank you. This way. Oh, sorry. Sorry, gentlemen, excuse me. Ah, darn, gosh.
He has a flat tire.
Etienne says a lot of silly things.
He has a flat tire on the front left. You need to change cars for another color.
Do you want me to pick red or rusty?
Pick red!
You prefer the red one too? So, over there, so as you can see, Etienne from Turbo. Here, we also have Simon. Don't hesitate to let me know if you want to see me on Turbo as well. I'd really like to go do a Turbo report one day with Etienne, Simon, Dominique, and so on. I run into them so often that we bump into each other almost every time. And I think it would be great someday. I've never done television. There are a lot of people who watch this channel. I think it could be nice. Don't hesitate to say if you're interested. I'll ask him later. To our friend, Etienne Brouet. A really cool guy. And what I love is that he's truly an awesome person. There you go. We go out this way and we have the barriers here. Normally it's automatic or otherwise there's someone. There you go. So now the engine just started. So we have the E-Tech engine. There you go. Here we don't know. Hola, Portugal. Plate reading, it doesn't open. There's something to put in, huh? Ah, the card. You must not lose the card. I don't know where it went. I'll find it later, I think. I hope. It's somewhere. So the engine just started. We have a 4-cylinder, 1.8 liter. So it's bigger and better than the small 1-liter 3-cylinder. The advantage is it runs better, smoother, quieter, has more torque, recharges faster, and is usually more efficient. Here, I'm leaving with this car. The car is almost brand new. It's showing me 780 kilometers of range. Currently,
stay in the left lane.
I need to quiet the lady. Stay in the left lane. She told me to make a U-turn over there.
In 50 meters, take the third exit at the roundabout.
Okay. I didn't know you could go that way. For me, actually, no. Every time the global positioning system gets it wrong here.
Exit the roundabout.
Because here, you can do it. No. I've already been tricked here several times. We're not going that way. We're taking this route, even if it's longer, and I'll have you drive. No, it wasn't that way. Oh no, I got tricked again. It wasn't there.
Continue en roue à intérieur for 1 kilometer.
Okay, madam, here's what's good about Google. It's that we just have one button. It mutes the sound, the beeps. We just have to double-click on My Safety Personal to customize it, and it doesn't make any more noise. And now, there you go. It just switched back to electric so that I can tell. Either by the engine noise you hear at very low speed or when you're stopped. Or the little, a sign. Electric vehicle here. All right, let's go without a turn signal, sir. Here we go. Shoot. It's telling me to turn around, but that's okay. At least we're driving in the city and so on. We're testing in all conditions. You know me, the goal is to give you as much information as possible. There you go. I'm going to pull it towards me because I like driving with my hands close to me. The first thing I notice is the Alpine-style seats, which really hold you in place very well. It feels like you're in a seat that's a bit sporty. And to be honest with you, I'm really well supported even in the seat itself. By the way, the seatbelt is a little bit hard to put on because you really have to reach way back there. Like this, it's actually pretty nice. I'm still in electric mode. So they've increased the battery capacity. The goal is for it to recharge and discharge as much as possible, and it goes in cycles like that. This is Terminal 2. I've never been here and didn't even know this area existed. So now we're just going to make a little U-turn. There we go. I came here for nothing, just for the walk. So now, roundabout. Oh yeah, the seat support is great. Honestly, I'm really well supported here. Perfect. And we're still running on electric, not bad. So Renault says that when you're driving in the city, or there's a bit of braking and so on, I think it's almost 80% of the time on electric. They've added a smart mode. So smart, as I mentioned before, if you press gently, you're in eco mode. Pressing a bit harder switches to comfort, while pressing fully switches to sport. And it's the car that manages the mapping in real time, which is pretty interesting. They told me to go back that way and everything, but I don't feel like it. I'm sure something will go wrong and I'll end up back in a parking lot. It's fine. I got the card now. So, we're going to test this. What matters to me most is the consumption. How much are we going to consume with this car? They claim 3.9 liters per 100. I can't wait to see. What do you think it'll be? I'm counting on you to put in your predictions. I found my little roundabout again. And we're going to do it this way, not by the airport. It's actually pretty nice to drive when I let off. So here, I'm not in B mode or anything. I don't think so. Oh, I was in B mode. That's why. I thought I still had a bit left. Quite a bit of deceleration. It gives you even more regeneration. And without touching the brake pedal, except at the end. When we're about to stop, if you anticipate well, you can slow to around 10 kilometers per hour. When I release the accelerator, the car moves forward by itself. That's creeping. When I release in B mode, deceleration is strong. I prefer D mode. You should know that you never truly have a completely freewheeling experience. Few cars do that, except some in the Volkswagen or Porsche group. That cuts the engine, disengages the clutch, and lets the car coast freely. And I think that's pretty good because in those conditions, you also use a lot less fuel, but here you use a little bit more. But you recover energy because every time you decelerate, you generate energy again, so it balances out a little bit. But after talking with engineers, they told me that the best of the best is actually true coasting. It's to accelerate and then you let it glide. You come to a stop almost in all conditions. You'll be in electric mode, and even when you start again like that, you'll still be in electric mode. Usually in the city, that's how it works. If your battery's empty, it'll switch and recharge. The advantage is that the engine is still pretty quiet. The 4-cylinder's a good thing, and we tested it. Even on the Bigster, this engine on the Bigster is more than enough. We're going to test this Clio on winding roads later. It should be fun, especially with 160 horsepower. What you have to say is that, in fact, these are almost sports car characteristics. 160 horsepower, you know? Back in the day, a Clio had 70 horsepower, it had 90 horsepower. Come on, if we had a version with no horsepower, that was the best. When I accelerate a little more, the engine starts up, I feel like it brings more power, more torque. When both engines are combined, the electric one always operates on this E-Tech base, and there's no clutch. It's a dog box, like on a Formula 1 car, and basically, so it's coupled. And we always necessarily start in electric mode, even if the engine is running, it's decoupled. And since there's no gearbox, it's just that it's perfectly synchronized to make sure it shifts gears. That's the advantage of this car. You always start in electric mode, so it always brings a bit of comfort when you start, for example. For example, here, I'm stopping just to give you a little demo and talk to you right away. When you start like this, it's always the electric motor that moves the car. We have the little auto hold button, which is well hidden here. This means I don't have to touch my brake pedal anymore. And that's also a real advantage in daily use. There, it's moving. I could have used my driving aids, which I'll show you on the highway. It's better to do it there. You can use it in the city too, if you're in traffic jams or really on roads where you don't need to turn much. Here, for example, I can activate it right now, so I'll first choose my mode. I have either the active assist, which is the one I prefer. Hey, there's a man approaching too quickly. Why are you doing that, sir? Arrive fast, brake later. For example, I put myself there. My active, here it's 50 kilometers per hour. So, and normally it will detect the lines. So here it's a merging lane, and that's it. The car takes care of everything, the steering wheel, and so on. So, of course, you have to keep your hands for now on this little Alcantara part. It feels good. The steering wheel feels good. Here it goes up to 80, so I keep pressing like this. It goes up by 10 each time, and it accelerates automatically. There's a small radar there, so we'll be careful. Let's go and overtake. The Portuguese are usually more civilized. The Portuguese they're actually pretty good on the road. Today is wild, but I admit that's a real advantage. I can't go without driver assistance now. It turns on its own and works well, especially on the highway. What's making noise? Oh, it's the key. Let's move it. There we go. We're going to overtake because there's a driving school car in front. Come on, let's test the acceleration. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. It works, honestly. It's enough. What's nice is that as soon as I press, since it's electric, it responds right away, just a little bit. Then the combustion engine starts up and assists with everything. And then it picks up nicely again. Now, the engine is running. You can hear it a little bit, so of course it's still a Clio. But it's actually pretty well soundproofed. At a steady speed, it's fine. It's just when you ask it to work a bit harder, you'll hear it a little more. But it's still very decent. As for the windows, everything is closed here, but you can still hear some noise from the road. But it's still fine. And we're in a really nice environment here. Here on the right, it's still pleasant. Honestly, it's a nice car, and the look, I think it has really improved. The Clio now is really getting a dose of modernity, because the old one was starting to look a bit outdated. Well, now there are technologies, screens. Full digital, it's even much nicer. What? There you go, 90. 90, that's our values in France. Often we're going to do a little bit of highway, usually. We'll see how it goes. I can't wait to really see, over the long term, the fuel consumption of this car. We're going to cover all types of roads, city, winding, some mountainous, and highway. And that should give us a real mix to find out what this Clio actually consumes. I was gonna say Twingo. We'll try it next year. It's actually pretty good. What do you think of the new Twingo? I showed it to you on the channel. It's actually pretty good. I like it. Renault, for the past few years, they've really been making some great stuff. I forgot to show you this earlier, but we have the little ambient lighting here and in the doors on the sides there as well. And here, that's the little extra of these versions. A bit of modernity, a touch of light. I have something to tell you. I just saw something. I see the rear light unit, the small black part sticking out, as a kind of mini spoiler at the back. The shape I see here is pretty funny. There you go, that's the little detail. I'll tell you about it. Now we're getting onto the highway, so I'll do a little stretch at 110, just like the speeds back home. All right, I'm accelerating again. Here we go. Wow. For overtaking, it overtakes really well. It accelerates quickly again. It's efficient when you need to pass someone. You don't really have to think too much about it. It works pretty well. So now at 110. So no, normally, if I'm not mistaken, we don't have a tachometer on this E-Tech even if I put it in sport mode. It seems to me that I don't have a tachometer on this car. I don't have a tachometer. A little Via Verde and acceleration again. Let's go from 30 to 120. Here we go, 70. 86, 95. 110, oh no, you had to keep going. We set up to 120, come on. Let's go, so at 120 here, come on, we'll go up to 130, just a little bit like we do at home. It accelerates well, even on cruise control. At 130 kilometers per hour, our average dropped to 5.3 liters. Now we're increasing again because, well, we're going uphill. There are a lot of hilly areas here. At 130 uphill, you can hear it slightly. It doesn't hesitate to play with the gears, maintain optimal revolutions per minute for efficiency, support the electric motor, and slightly recharge it. So sometimes the car makes sure to be a little high in revolutions per minute, to really be at the optimal revolutions per minute. For example, here it has dropped back to gear, and now it's getting a bit more assistance from the electric motor. And then we'll see when it goes back to being a bit more level. Now it's accelerating again because we're coming out of the turn. And normally it should shift up a gear for me, because for now it's staying a little high and that's it. Now it's shifted to the highest gears it should to be more efficient on the highway. At 130, you can hear some wind noise around the mirrors. Around the windshield, it's fine. There's a little bit of noise, but it's still okay. And as I was saying, the engine, once it's in the highest gear, it's fine. Sometimes going uphill like this, there you go, for example, right now, it drops down a gear by itself to go directly to what's more efficient. In the end, for the car, you know. So actually, you won't be able to control that. The car will handle it by itself, shifting up or down 1, 2, sometimes 3 gears. And actually, it happens much less than before, because as we said, sometimes it used to rev a bit too high. At Renault, they agreed to reduce noise, which is why they increased the engine displacement. Well, it brings more torque to this engine, so more power, and it allows it to rev less high. To be able to recharge the battery better, or precisely to pull it when there's a bit of an incline or something like that. But while we could use paddles, another car, or a simpler gearbox elsewhere, we can't do that here. It's true it sometimes stays high in the revs. We'd like it to shift gears right away. It waits, and as soon as the revs drop, it shifts gears. So there you go. I have all my driving aids. I'm pretty comfortable here. I'll do the test like this for you. So here, I'm not putting on any music or anything because, well, there are copyright issues and such on the internet. But otherwise, if you put on a little music, with the Harman Kardon sound system, which is relatively decent, you kind of forget about those air noises. We're 27 kilometers on the highway. I'll get back to you as soon as we're on the small country roads. So, I've been driving for a while now. I've completed 27 kilometers, totaling 47 kilometers, with an average of 6.3 liters so far. Having done, well, a big part, you know, out of 47 kilometers, at least 30 kilometers at 130. And the rest, well, it was a bit of everything. And now we're going to get off the highway. Normally, from now on, there won't be any more highway. It'll be small country roads with some curves and slight elevation. Because around Lisbon, it's still very mountainous, and we'll see how it goes. So, 6 liters anyway, with a little braking here and there. Since there's braking and slowing down, it recharged. I'm driving in electric mode until the exit, maybe even to the little village. The roundabout test, we do it less and less these days, I think. I forgot to do it for you right here on another type of asphalt. Plus, it's completely soaked. Still, it holds up well. I'm actually pretty impressed. Clemence would have loved it, I'm sure. I'm really surprised by the handling here. I haven't seen the tires. Maybe I'll tell you about it before, during the presentation. But I'm really surprised by the tires and the asphalt here. It grips really well. I was well held in my seat. I actually feel good. It makes you want to have something a bit sporty. Could it be the return of the Clio Renault Sport soon? No, I don't think so. That's in the past. Alpine now builds large electric SUVs. Are you for or against it, by the way? Big electric SUVs from Alpine. Normally, the test drives are very soon. Actually, it's next week. I wasn't invited, unfortunately. Yet usually Alpine invites me all the time, but this time, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this big SUV A390. The A290 is kind of fun. The R5's wide base and compact chassis add to its fun and muscular look. A 390. I still don't know what to think about it. I would need to try it. I'm a little bit upset about my Clio. It's going to get dirty, darn. I like to show you clean cars. And for now, pleasant, this Clio. Actually, the previous one was pretty good. The Clio 5 E-Tech. That was actually the first appearance of E-Tech on a Clio. I thought it was good, but it was getting old. You can sense the modern vibe here, which is cool. It's even better since this engine is superior. Look, there's another colleague over there. There's still a sticker on the tire. Did he just put it on, or is it just new? Huge. It's really not bad. And there in the city, like I was telling you earlier, most of the time in the city will be in electric mode, except for the moments when it will restart to recharge the battery as quickly as possible, and then it goes back to electric mode. It looks nice when you see it driving. Paula, the designer, asked me what I thought about it last time. I didn't really know what to tell her in the studio. It just didn't look the same. It really didn't look the same at all. And then the 3/4 views as it rolls, plus the big wheels. It really transforms the car. Honestly, we hide the Clio badge, and even now I can't reveal what it is. There's a little Renault Center here, and I'm going to try to see if they have a little Clio 5. Try to put it side by side to give you a little comparison shot. And even at Renault here, for now, the car doesn't exist yet, it's not produced, they're going to be shocked at Renault. I'd almost ask the salespeople for their opinion, that would be funny. Sadly, there's no Clio 5 here. Ah, darn, Renault. Do you think there are any salespeople who will come out saying, hey, there's a Clio 6? Oh, there's a salesperson. He looked at the car. He was shocked. Yes, he has a Clio 5. I'll ask them anyway. I think they'll be nice. They changed the camera, so the quality is better now. That's nice. If you saw the looks on people's faces in the Renault showroom window, you'd think I was an alien. The car hasn't come out at all yet. They've never seen it. They're Renault dealers, so they'll come. At our small center for Renault in Dacia, our salesman is very happy to see it, and precisely to show you the difference between the Clio 5 and the Clio 6. Here's what it looks like. As you can see, there's still some resemblance, but now there's a real difference. Here, it's a sort of half diamond like the ones over there. But really, these are no longer the same cars at all, and you can see that the logo has changed as well. This time, they're more in the dark, and it's no longer a really distinct part for it. And that's it. We no longer have the aero sides. They used to be on the side, but now they're integrated, so there are no more air curtains. It looks much nicer and more aggressive. So it's true that we still find this part, this lower part, but it's also been widened. And the top part, it's really been narrowed to really highlight the logo. But here, it feels like another car brand, with this kind of grille that looks like a mix between a single frame and others. With this part, look, it's the same here. The hood is completely redesigned. We no longer have those two lines. Here, there's really something that's shaped differently. Even the mirrors, remember, I mentioned it. The mirrors have really evolved with this little aerodynamic tip here. And we have cameras here that we didn't have at all before. And you can see that here, there's a big, big difference, both in terms of the rims. Here we have hubcaps, but the 18-inch rims really make a difference. And the Esprit Alpine version, which also existed on these models, and at the back, it's the same. You can see between here and there, it's not the same at all anymore. And it's true that just changing the lights like this, plus this sharp line, really, really makes the car stand out. The Clio logo like this, which is changed over there, and it's the same on the side skirts. Look, it's completely different. It's true that these versions look much, much more modern. And inside you can see it as well. Big, big difference. This one looks really, really outdated when you compare its interior to this one. Look, it's not the same at all anymore with the full screen, and it's the same thing. Especially with the Alpine Spirit. The heated titanium imitation? Anyway, what do you think? The new one, or do you prefer the old one? So the seller's very happy, and so am I. It allowed me to show you a little comparison with the old one, which actually isn't that old after all. But I think I gave him a little apology. Almost no one has made, this kind of video, and I like doing what others don't do. At the same time, the seller was very happy. He said he was a big fan of Clio, and I understand. There you go. Don't hesitate. Give a little thumbs up. Leave a comment to say that you're happy that I'm putting in this effort for you. For a while, I've been driving through small villages on rough country roads, often with potholes and other issues. The suspension is comfortable. I'm still, pretty impressed by the handling, especially in this rainy weather. The brake pedal, it's, Initially, you're braking electrically, and pressing harder gives a strong, responsive brake feel. That's actually nice to also feel safe because look, when I brake, but really usually it slips when it rains like this. The grip is great here, honestly. I'm impressed. And the acceleration, well, more than enough. Now we're going through a small village again. Fuel consumption is down to 5.6 liters on average. We'll see how much lower it gets, considering we've already driven a lot on the highway. When they say 3.9 liters, we know that's for small roads like this. In smart mode with eco on. But here I pressed hard while driving in smart mode. It's in sport mode right now, and if I let off normally, it's supposed to switch back to eco mode after a while. The car adjusts based on your driving. See, it just switched back to eco mode. It thought, you wanted to accelerate hard, so I'll give you about 10 seconds in sport mode if you need to be sporty. This way, you don't need to change buttons. The smart mode is truly intelligent, like in commercials they speak English. That always cracks me up every time. You know, when it's translated into French, because I know there are a lot of people who don't like using anglicisms in France. But like, we call it an iPhone, we're not going to say an iPhone in, for example. It's like weekend. It's weekend. It's an English word, but we don't call it the last 2 days or end of the week. Weekend sounds cooler. Pretty funny. I just saw the new Peugeot 308. I'm not sure if we'll see another one, but actually, the tests are in Lisbon. At the same time, there's the Peugeot 308. At the same time, there's the Clio. And at the same time, there's the Volkswagen T-Roc. All the new releases, the big new releases. This week, there were 9 invitations. Among everything that was happening with the Audi Q3 as well, which was going on, there's the Opel Mokka GSE, I think, and BYD was having a launch event. I received a huge number of things this week, so unfortunately, I can't do everything. I'm doing this for you, the Clio and Peugeot 308. We're here in Lisbon Monday and Tuesday, and so I'll be back Thursday, Friday, to do the test drive of the 308 for you, and I'll be back next week as well to do the test drive of the new T-Roc for you. The T-Roc is also highly anticipated. It's a vehicle that sells very well. The Peugeot 308, it's a facelift. I'm looking forward to seeing it anyway. It's always cool to test drive a little Peugeot from time to time. It's been a long time since I've done a Peugeot, by the way. So what do you prefer? Brands include Renault, Peugeot, Volkswagen, Citroën, and Audi. I mentioned Renault and Volkswagen already. What other brands are there? Skoda, Cupra, Mercedes, BMW, or other new players like Tesla, BYD foreign brands? What do you like the most? The big advantage of all these cars is also the hill start like this. I have auto hold plus hill start assist, so I can tell you I start off smoothly. Because it's all electric and takes off well, we have torque and power, and the engine restarts once it's moving. And then I can really stop anywhere to enjoy the ocean, which is truly beautiful. The view is amazing, and then I set off again. We're lucky, except for some torrential rain. It was very beautiful. We ran into lots of friends. Also, so here, an unexpected little Peugeot 308. As I was saying, there are other countries that come to film. I took the opportunity to shoot some side-by-side shots. So here, it's Monday, Tuesday, and like I said, I'll be back Thursday and Friday to be able to go try it out. We'll see how it goes with this restyled 308. It's just a facelift, but it's always fun to discuss the 308 among our French brands. We like it. It's always nice. I'm going to put my little consumption indicator back here. So, 5.6 liters for now. All right, I have 73 kilometers left to go, and we'll talk about consumption again. Wait, there's a small road where there's absolutely no one. 0 to 100 because we reach 100 before the turn. 1, 2, 3. All right, here we go. The Smart in Sport mode, 30, 36, 51, 63. After 63, it really accelerates, 100. Woohoo! Oh, a red 308? There are so many. We keep running into them. I love this job. All right, well, in terms of power, that's more than enough for everyday use. We don't need over 160 horsepower. It's got enough power. It's not a sports car, but it gets us around smoothly and meets our needs. All right, I'm arriving in Cascais. So the average has gone down nicely. I'm at an average of 4.7 liters. So with this new Clio, really on a mix of all types of roads. Since earlier, I haven't overtaken again. Well, for a short moment, I did a bit of 120 again, but otherwise it was almost only 90 kilometers per hour. And in the end, it means we have a really very reasonable fuel consumption. With this hybrid system, the comfort over speed bumps, potholes, and so on, it's a good everyday car. Now, I'm back in the city. There are quite a few traffic jams. I'm probably going to finish this short trip in electric mode. The Clio with the E-Tech engine works well, and they've now improved it even further. More power, more torque. In short, a better driving experience compared to before, since precisely we have a little bit more of everything. As for the rest, I have to admit it's been a long time since I last tested the Clio 5, but we still keep all the comfort and everything else, the seats, these ones with the Alpine Spirit. Very, very good support. It's comfortable, it's pretty nice, we have a cool interior. The look, well, it has really evolved on this Clio. Do you prefer the old one or this one? That's for you to choose and tell me in the comments. Are you the one who's going to buy this car? Is it a good choice? Yes, the Clio is still a very nice car. It gets the job done for almost everything. This hybrid system, I think for me, hybrid is the best thing for daily use because it's so versatile. 4.7 liters over 146 kilometers. There's not much to say. After that, what could do better than 4.7 liters? Maybe a diesel on the back roads. Very recent diesels also have very good fuel consumption, but diesel is over, at least for us. Well, you know what ends up happening with cars and pollution standards, all that stuff. But honestly, diesel isn't as comfortable as hybrid. In these conditions, diesel suits those who mostly drive on highways or take long trips. Otherwise, hybrid is better. Look at this comfort, this silence. I'm strongly convinced by full hybrids like this. 100% electric is great for people who can charge at home and who don't necessarily take long trips very often. Very long trips. Diesel is still unbeatable, and for someone who does a bit of everything, hybrid remains the best compromise in the end. Anyway, feel free to let me know what you think. Give me a little thumbs up like this. Feel free to subscribe, click, leave a comment, send kisses, whatever you want. And share this video if it makes you happy. And I'll see you soon for another video. I'll probably make another one about the techno version with a different and unique perspective. The authorization will come out a bit later. See you soon, ciao.